Hi, this is Elpida. Um, and my business is called Visions of Hope. I help uh, intuitive entrepreneurs use their intuition in order to create a business and a life that they love. So, today I want to talk about what not to do in business to succeed. So, I find a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, and there's a difference. A business owner is someone who owns a business. You sell a product or service. An entrepreneur is someone who is forward thinking. You're always thinking about what your client needs. But we'll talk about that in a future video. So, I hear a lot about, I just want to make money. I just want to make money. I just want to pay the bills. You know what happens with that kind of mentality and that kind of language is you end up making money. And making money might be a $5 sale. A $5 sale is not going to pay the rent. And a lot of times what happens, you go from being an employee, starting a business, and ending up in the same paycheck to paycheck struggle. Yeah, now you have a business. Now you're making your own money and you're on your own schedule in your own way, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole point of being a business owner or an entrepreneur is for you to have money and time freedom. And what happens is a lot of people, they are so indoctrinated in the employee mentality of how do I make $1? How do I make $10? How do I make $100? How do I pay the rent? That's what they focus on and that's what they create in their business. And that's not going to get you to the time and money freedom that you're looking for. So stop doing that. Do not say you want to make money. You want to focus on two things in your business. And in this order, impact. Okay. How are you serving other people? How are you helping other people? When you lead from service, people are like, shut up and take my money. When you lead from, I just need you to buy, they may buy, they may not buy. Okay. So that's one. Two is start looking at income. And actually, we're going to get more into this topic in future videos. But just now, for a little bit of shift, what is the income that you need to thrive? Okay. So a lot of coaches do this. I do this with my clients, but I've got a crazy little formula here for you. So you're going to sit down and you're going to look at your expenses for the past 3 months because you want to get an overview. You want to get an average. You also want to think about things that you only pay maybe once a year, like car tax, like car registration. You want to look at all those things and you want to get an average of what you pay every month, money that's going out. Okay. So I did that here. Okay. Wrote down all my expenses and you want to think about things that you maybe right now you're not paying for. Maybe I know there's the internet benefit, the EBB, although I heard that that's something else now where you get the $50 a month out of your internet. You want to look at how much you truly pay for internet, not with that government program that's helping you. It's great if you're part of it. That's great to help you out to cut some of your costs, but you want to look at creating an income where that doesn't exist, that you don't need that anymore. Thank you for helping me out, but I don't need that. Help someone else. That's the point you want to get to. So if there are certain government programs or local programs or things that somebody else is covering for you, you want to put those things down. You want to put down everything that if you were paying for everything in your life and in your business, what would that number be? All right. And then at the end of it, what you're going to do is you're going to multiply it by 1.5. Okay. So we're adding 50% to it. Why do we do this? Because we want to factor in taxes. Okay. Self-employed taxes, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they're about 33%. They're pretty freaking high up there. And you also want to give yourself some wiggle room. What I did was I added an extra $500 for miscellaneous right off the top because there are things that you need. Sometimes, it's, something breaks, you need it. Okay. And then after you get your 1.5 number, Okay. Then you want to multiply that by 3. Okay. Now, before you gasp and you're like, Elpida, that's a ridiculous amount of money. I've never made that much money in a month. That's ridiculous. Let me tell you the formula, in my opinion, for true financial freedom. Okay. A third of your income goes to your expenses. A third of your income is available for you to spend as you choose. Okay. So this is like, oh, wow, my friends are going whitewater rafting. I've got money for that. Or, something breaks down. I've got money for that. Or I want to take this course. I've got money for that. Right. And then another third, you want to invest. Now, in the beginning, it may be just putting it in a savings account, which we all know they give you what, like, 0.5%, 0.05%. Start there. And then once you have enough money in that, you want to look at, first, I definitely highly recommend that you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. He talks about creating assets. Assets are things that create money for you. Your home is not an asset. And I love how he says it, very plain and simple. An asset brings money into your bank account. A liability takes money out of your bank account. So your home, your car are liabilities, okay? Because they're taking money out of your pocket. Even if they're paid off, they're not bringing you money unless you're renting your car or using your car for Uber or things like that. But even then, there are added costs with that, right? So you want to put a third of your money into investments, and not again, you start with savings, and then you want to think about, okay, maybe I want to play around in the stock market. Cash App, it makes it super, super easy for you to start buying stocks. You can buy $10 of Amazon. You can buy, $25 of Apple, and you can start playing around and getting a feel for it. Okay. It's very low risk for you to start playing around with it, but only use that money that you have extra. So that's the whole point of multiplying it by 3, because your expenses are covered now. Okay. A third of your income is going towards your expenses. A third is available, free, cash for you to use. It's your liquid fund that you can use for whatever you need. And obviously, if you're not using it, obviously put it towards investments. If you've got debt, pay that debt off. And then another third is going towards investments, which in the beginning may be creating that emergency fund. And now, granted, you may not be making that money right now, but that should be your goal. Your goal should not be to pay the rent. Okay. Your goal should be to have your expenses be a third of your income. And here's the thing. We've all done this. I know I've done this. We need, $500 to take a course. This just happened to me back in September. I need $500 to take a course. I created this, little service. And I put it out there and I made $350. Now, I had money in savings to cover the rest, but that happens. And it doesn't mean that I didn't do my hardest. It didn't mean that I didn't hustle my ass. Although, as you'll learn, I'm not a fan of the hustle. That's why we're creating that 3x income, so that we don't have to hustle. There's always money for us to be able to take our time and to run the business the way that we want. We want to be an entrepreneur. We want to be forward thinking. We want to be investing in ourselves. We want to be investing in our future, and we want to be investing in other people. And that comes from not having to struggle to pay the rent. If you're struggling to pay the rent, sometimes it's better to just go and get a job. And I'm not trying to discourage you from having a business. I'm not criticizing. You okay? Come here. Okay. I'm just saying that if you're going to live paycheck to paycheck, it's just better to let somebody else take care of the taxes and the accounting and how am I going to find clients and who am I going to sell my stuff to, right? It's so much easier but that's not why we create a business. We create a business to have time and money freedom. And that comes from 3xing our income. A lot of coaches that I've worked with is they have you come up with your basic budget, which is, all basic survival mode. Then you go to your, business class budget, And then you're like, okay, what are the things that I would add if I had extra money every month? And then we go to the luxury budget. And I've done that. I've done that scenario. But let me tell you, why? Why not just cut to the chase and go to the and granted, this number may not be the number that you're going to grow. Your expenses are going to grow. As your business grows, you're going to hire people to help you, whether you're creating a product or a service. So your expenses will grow. And when you triple that number, your profits will grow. Your investments will grow. Your liquid capital will grow. This is a shortcut. And a lot of people view shortcuts as a bad thing. My washing machine's a shortcut. I don't go beat my clothes on a rock. We want to use these shortcuts to benefit us so that we can live the life we want. So we can have time to spend with our kids, to have time to pursue our interests now, not when we retire, which, that's just a word. It doesn't even mean anything nowadays, right? How many people truly retire and do nothing? Who wants to sit around and you do nothing? We want to do the things we want to do. We want to do them when we have the energy and our body is in the best of conditions, right? So stop talking about making money. Talk about impact and income. All right. Figure out what you truly are spending every month. Be honest with yourself. If you see stuff on there, magazine subscriptions, gym membership, whatever that you are not using, unsubscribe. Get rid of them. If you're like, oh my God, I spend so much money, at McDonald's, be mindful of that. Think of that and be like, okay, why am I doing that? Right? We'll talk about that more. Get that number, multiply it by 1.5. All right. You're adding another 50% in order to cover taxes, to cover, extra things that you may not have thought of. And then you're going to triple that in order to get what your monthly income goal should be every month. Stop focusing on paying the rent. If you focus on paying the rent, you are on that hamster wheel and all you're doing is making money to pay the rent. Start focusing on the income that you want to be receiving. And like I said before, if your goal is $30,000 a month and that's your goal, your action steps, what you take, what your intuition, because I'm all about the intuition. Our intuition is our GPS. When you set a $30,000 monthly goal, your intuition is going to tell you to do different things than if your goal is $5,000, right? Just like if I said to you right now, hey, you got a spare penny? I'm sure you got some in your couch or in the cup holder of your car. If I said, hey, you got $100, now you got to think a little differently. Maybe it's like, oh yeah, I've got some in savings I can pull out. Or if I said, hey, do you got 10 grand I can borrow? Another conversation, another path to it, right? That's what you want to do. You want to prime your brain. Our brain is the problem solver. It is the map that the intuition uses in order to create our path. Okay. And so our brain is going to find different ways to come up with $5,000 to cover our basic expenses and pay the rent, and $30,000 in order to shift into thriving mode, into successful mode. Don't start thinking about it like, oh, I'm paying the rent now. I'm paycheck to paycheck. Oh, now I'm going to start thinking. No. If you just started your business or you haven't started a business yet, start with that goal. And trust me, that goal will get bigger. That goal will get bigger as you grow. Like I said, you got hire employees. Now you need a CMR. Now you need web hosting. Now you need business cards. As those expenses rise, because you're tripling it, your income will start to rise and your profits will start to rise. All right. A lot of people do it backwards. They're like, how much money can I make? Is it enough to cover my bills? No. How much money do I need to thrive? Okay. To have a successful business, whatever that means to you. Not everybody wants to be a billionaire. Okay. Start with that 3X goal and then you can grow from there. All right, guys. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.